Fellow investors, and welcome back to Borex Investing. So for today's video, I want to talk about some fresh bullish news for Nebius, ticker NBIS. So over the past week, three major developments have only strengthened my conviction in this company. So for those who are new here, Nebius is one of my high conviction plays in the AI space. I was an early investor in NVIDIA and Palantir, and I see Nebius as an undervalued AI infrastructure play with massive potential ahead. I've covered the company in detail in earlier videos, so make sure to check those out. I'll link them at the end. So starting off with the big headline of last week, it was NVIDIA's earnings. And as you've probably seen, the results were outstanding once again. EPS was a beat, revenue was a beat, net income was up 59% year over year. Their gross margins were up 20% quarter over quarter, and they authorized $60 billion in share buybacks. So these numbers really blew past expectations, and Wall Street wasted no time in adjusting their price targets upward. Literally every major firm on the street increased their price target within 24 hours of NVIDIA's earnings. So all the major firms like JP Morgan, Citi, and Bank of America raised their price targets to all over $200. So I thought this was very important. CEO Jensen Huang was very clear in his message. The AI boom is just beginning. He emphasized the demand for computing power is far outpacing supply, with global AI infrastructure spending projected to reach 3 to 4 trillion by 2030. And he also mentioned that demand for the new Blackwell GPUs in particular were extraordinary. So in my opinion, this is where Nebius comes in. As one of NVIDIA's official cloud partners, Nebius already runs thousands of H200 GPUs in Europe and has early access to Blackwell chips slated for Q4. So while hyperscalers like Microsoft and Amazon face more scrutiny and tighter contracts, Nebius can move faster, price flexibly, and run its data centers at near full utilization. So in an environment where cutting-edge GPUs are scarce, Nebius really has a structural advantage. They can charge premium rates and expand capacity with direct NVIDIA backing. So when NVIDIA confirms that AI infrastructure demand is going vertical, it's not just good news for them, it's a direct validation of the Nebius business model. So NVIDIA is the engine powering the AI revolution, but Nebius is one of the few positioned to turn that demand into outsized growth right now. Alongside all the momentum from NVIDIA's earnings, Nebius also made a very shareholder-friendly move last week. The board authorized a buyback of 20% of Class A shares over the next 18 months, and on top of that, they immediately canceled 40 million treasury shares. So why is this bullish? Well, in general, when a company buys back its stock, it reduces the number of shares available in the market. So fewer shares means that each remaining share represents a larger piece of the business. That directly increases earnings per share, and in many cases, it supports a higher stock price because the same level of profit is now divided among fewer shares. The cancellation of 40 million treasury shares is even more powerful because it's immediate. That instantly lifts ownership for existing shareholders like us, and it signals confidence from management that the stock is undervalued today. So I am obviously biased here as a shareholder, but I think about it this way. Nebius isn't just talking about growth and opportunity. They're backing it up by shrinking the float and returning value to long-term holders. So if you combine that with preferential access to NVIDIA hardware and the explosive demand for AI infrastructure, you've got a company that's not only positioned for growth, but also proactively rewarding shareholders. So this type of capital allocation is usually seen in very mature companies, so seeing Nebius do this early in its growth curve is bullish in my opinion. So I understand that some might argue that dilution in the future will occur, so this move might not mean much, but I disagree. It shows Nebius has already taken steps to clean up its capital structure and directly reward shareholders. So in a space where many companies dilute endlessly, this sets them apart. All right, on to the next. Nebius recently looks to be expanding more into healthcare and life sciences, and I think this could be very bullish for them. So healthcare is one of the biggest industries in the world, and it's starting to adopt AI in a massive way. So things like drug discovery, genomics, and medical imaging will require huge amounts of computing power, and they'll also need strict compliance with rules like HIPAA in the US and GDPR in Europe. So this is exactly the type of infrastructure that Nebius is building. Purpose-built, secure, and optimized for scientific workloads. So a recent interview with Ilya Burkov, who's global head of healthcare and life science growth, actually proved this. The interview was actually posted on X by user MVC Investing, so shout out to him for giving us awareness on this. The interview really told us that demand is already growing quickly. Nebius has been hiring dedicated leadership, rolling out new compliance certifications, and even running programs that give GPU credits to biotech startups. They're also offering NVIDIA's specialized healthcare AI tools like BioNemo and Parabricks directly on their platform. So that's something that hyperscalers don't provide out of the box. So for investors, the takeaway is really simple. Healthcare AI is a multi-$100 billion opportunity, and Nebius is positioning itself right in the center of it. If they can even capture a small share of that demand, it could turn into a powerful growth driver for the company and a long-term catalyst for the stock. All right, so that's a wrap for this update. I'm loving my position in Nebius, and I do keep adding as I think we'll be trading in the $115 range by next summer. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button and subscribe to Borex Investing for more deep dives and updates on high conviction plays like this one. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.